Show. Now, here's Wendy!
Thank you for watching our show. And say hello to my co-host, staffer, studio audience. Virtual audience, give them some love. Doing okay today. Let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. It's a new day. New president, new vice president, and I thought that the couples looked terrific. Congratulations to President Biden. Congratulations to Vice President Harris and the First Lady. Congratulations to you and the First Gentleman as well. And I must say, I love the coat and the dress thing. I love that. You know, sensible heels, nice gloves, everybody masked up. The men looked very, very handsome. And I just, they sounded so happy. And he sounded, the president, delivering his message so important that we all just stick together and make the world work. Yeah. Now, I did count down to 12 o'clock. I didn't realize that all of our channels, local as well as national, were going to be running the pre-show to the main thing at 12 o'clock when he gets sworn in. I've never been so happy to see 10 a.m., the Wendy Williams Show, a brand new show. I was so happy to be here for you. I was so happy. Just to kind of break things up a bit, and then I was back to the action. Which is this, you know, another dress, you know, Lady Gaga sang the national anthem. And she did it in Gaga style, and her voice is just phenomenal. So good job for Stephanie, swinging her microphone around. Then Jennifer Lopez came out in all Chanel, and she sang This Land Is Your Land and America the Beautiful. And she wore head-to-toe Chanel. Well, then she sang, she did Let's Get Loud. And people were wondering where she was going with that. Of course, people read her ugly, you know, saying, why are you promoting your own music in the middle of this? This is not the time. And second of all, your voice compared to Lady Gaga's voice, there is no comparison. Jennifer needs to be helped. Jen, you can't win but that's because you're Jennifer. You're like on your own. You and Alex are on your own planet. I mean, Gaga has a planet, but her planet seems to be more non-manufactured.
I see.
If you understand what I'm saying. Oh, well, this does look manufactured. Okay. But we've seen, like, well, I enjoyed that performance. I enjoyed Jen's performance, and I enjoyed Garth Brooks' performance. Honestly, I didn't even recognize Garth. I was wondering, who's this man in the cowboy hat? And then when he took it off, I still didn't recognize him. And then, you know, the critical crowd were commenting on his hair transplant. But my thing is, if you get a hair transplant, you know me, if you're gonna go, then you go big. Like, why wouldn't he get it all the way up into his temples? Like, if you get a hair transplant, is this the old Garth and then this is the new Garth?
Correct.
They look the same.
I mean, it's a suspected hair transplant. Alleged.
Well, I don't see any suspected anything.
Yeah.
I was just happy that I was able to change the channel back and forth because the Pioneer woman was teaching me how to make the same lasagnas and stuff. She was rerunning, but I liked the Pioneer woman. I was glad that Gunsmoke was on. Bernie Sanders, they say, stole the show. He went to get his mail. He's carrying his mail. He's wearing his mittens. And then he sat by himself and he says, so there were a bunch of viral videos where they put him like on the subway and, other places. And of course, our show always gets involved, which I had no idea, but they, Thank you. Thank you. Let me see, what else did I notice? I didn't eat anything all day. I totally juiced all day. Because I didn't want to miss anything that I thought I was supposed to be seeing other than the transfer of power and, some great dresses. I like that dress thing. My mom used to dress like that too. That was a back in the day thing. That's what a proper lady dressed like. Yeah, beautiful. And they kept saying that Mrs. Biden had Swarovski crystals on hers. And I found myself distracted while juicing and watering. Juice, water, no solids. Needless to say, today I'm going in on something. I don't know what. I gotta bring it up. But I don't see any crystals. I see nothing. Oh, I guess, okay. Well, they look dull. I thought at first they were pearls, maybe. Like maybe too much moisturizer on her hands, and then, when you touch your jewelry, and then, Mrs. Biden, she's like us. And then the First Lady's, Kamala's nephew-in-law, was trending on Twitter because he was wearing a pair of $10,000 sneakers. The Dior Jordans. Do we have Air Jordan 1s. They're like the kind of sneakers that if you bought them like 2 years ago, you would have paid $2,000. And then now, you wear them and they're fresh out of the box, it looks like. You can get them for like $10,000.
I'm not paying that much for that.
Oh.
I'm not buying
Well, then
it.
what are you substituting for?
I got J's on the affordable ones.
Okay.
And I've been juicing, by the way, too. I heard you say that.
You juiced yesterday, too?
I've been juicing for the past 4 days. I haven't eaten in 4 days.
Why? Are you losing weight? Or are you...
I'm trying to lose weight.
Well, you know what you can do.
And cleanse. The lipo.
And then at night, the celebration. All right. So I get my usual night text from the Bureau, and they're like, 8 o'clock, be there. And I'm watching, thank goodness for Donnie Wahlberg and the rest of them on Blue Blood. That is my show. They were in marathon form. All the news channels are still talking about everything that we saw earlier in the day. And at that point, I was low in the bed. Bruce Springsteen representing Jersey, he performed. Okay, that was appropriate. I figured either he or John Bon Jovi would go first. And that John Legend performed. Bon Jovi performed on the beach. He was on the boardwalk. It was a really nice look. And then I could not recognize Demi Lovato at first. I was like, who is this woman who's singing? Yeah, she did a good job as well. But and of course, yes, Katy Perry. Katy Perry's voice is really, really something else. It's a really good voice. And Mrs. Biden couldn't stop clapping. And I guess, the president is all caught up in the emotion of it. It was nice to see. But I have to tell you, that was an hour and a half that we didn't need. We could have had that. If there were 4 performers, that could have been a half hour. There was too much Tom Hanks. And then Tom Hanks talking to the president about the same stuff that we talked about earlier, except without Tom Hanks. Nothing against the Hanks family, but just, hey, Chet. And then our show repeated, you know, because in New York, you know, we're on in the morning live at 10, and then the repeat of the 10 a.m. show comes on at 3. And I was just so happy. And then, you know, Judge Mathis, who people still think I'm fighting with Judge Mathis. Greg Mathis and I have made up a long time. We are friends. Okay. But the judge was on in marathon form. Flipping around. Judge Marilyn was on. Uh-huh. And the snow in New York was so beautiful to me. At my house, it was not windy snow. It was just falling down, and the flakes were really, really big. Like, you knew it wasn't gonna stick and be a problem. And the flakes were really big, right up against the window. It was really something. Even Chit Chat and My Way were like staring like, wow, Mom. I don't know what's going on, but that lady sure does have a nice speaking voice. Why can't you speak like that? I'm speaking of the First Lady, or the Vice President. Kamala's voice is really just, that voice is so soothing. And her laugh is so infectious. Well, President Trump, as we know, pardoned 143 people on his way out. And one of them, as expected, was Lil Wayne. And he also, you know, the gold gun, he didn't need to be pardoned, but it's nice to have a nice, heavy-handed lawyer. And Kodak Black was pardoned. Now, Kodak Black, mind you, was serving 46 months for gun charges, but he still faces 30 years in prison for sexual assault on a high school girl who allegedly reported the rape to that happened allegedly in the hotel, allegedly, I have to say all these allegeds. It allegedly, and she reported it to the school nurse. Yeah. So the reason that he was pardoned, I would imagine, is because his lawyer is the same lawyer as Lil Wayne, you see? So when you lawyer up with one good toughen, then, you know, you get pardoned. Snoop wanted Harry O to be pardoned. Harry O is the co-founder of Death Row Records, and Harry O was pardoned. Good for him. He and his wife are nice people. I know those people. They're nice people. I've known them for many, many years. You know. Now, Suge, on the other hand, sons wanted him to be pardoned. And I don't know what kind of pardon you would think would happen when we see him at Tamburgers driving over the man at the driver's seat, driving over the man in the SUV, looking out the window, knowing he did it, backed up and did it again, I guess to make sure he was good and dead. Suge, you, good morning, inmates. Good morning, Suge. You're a for-lifer. He didn't pardon Trump. He didn't pardon the Tiger King, Joe Exotica. And Tiger King feels as though he wasn't pardoned because he's too glamorous and he's too gay. And Tiger King was very presumptuous in thinking that he'd be pardoned. He put a hit out on somebody and killed him. Uh-huh.
Tried to. Carol Baskin. Tried to kill Carol Baskin.
Tried to kill Carol Baskin. Allegedly. Of Baskin right. And Robbins.
Right.
He had the full glam squad pull up to the prison with a limo. Glam squad beat his face, curled his hair. Not all. Imagine the fight he got into when he went back inside. You know, like, you thought you were getting away. Like, when you are in prison and you think you're getting out and you're stuck there for more time, do you, especially when you have a glam squad, do you just get passed around like you get beat real good by everybody in there? If I were a prisoner, I definitely would be like, ha, 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 ha. Yeah. I'm stuck in here and you think you're going somewhere with your bangs. And Kanye, well, he's very upset. that the divorce with Kim is going to play out on the season finale of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And Kanye, what did you expect even from the first day you met her? You knew how it began, you knew how it would eventually end, and somewhere along the way, you went off the rail of life and you lost focus to what the family is about. This family has given us everything that they want us to see, which is a lot, for a long time, for years. You know? So they shot the last episode. However, they do have this big multi-million-dollar deal on Hulu. It's coming out. So in other words, they're leaving they're going to Hulu, and you'll still be able to see the rest of it. And it's going to play out on TV. What's going to play out, though, is stuff that we already either knew or we could assume. We only slept together for the purpose of cuddling. You know, he said, though, he's as sick of her as he is of Chris. He's sick of the whole family, the whole brand, the whole thing. You know, a lot of people would assume that it's her who's sick of him. But he said, no, sick goes both ways. You know? I think they'll be good co-parents, though. They can't have their children. I mean, the children have already seen enough in real life, and then in a few years, they'll be able to get on the Googler and Google the whole history of the whole family. And I think they'll be good co-parents. I believe that they owe it to their watchers, which includes me, I watch. You know, play it out on TV, why not? They're not gonna say too much. They're gonna say just enough. And you know, not for nothing, before they started filming this season, Kanye, if you did want to actually talk to your wife of many years and mother of your children, what you could have done is talk to her privately without the cameras and said, look, it's not working for either one of us. But what you did, you're the runaway husband. You're the runaway husband. You run to Wyoming with your guy squad, and that's what you do. She stays, at least she stays on TV and with her sisters, and while still promoting her stuff, you know, she's freeing people. Another one of her people got pardoned by Trump before he left. But, you know, so I can't wait to watch it all play out. And this Bachelorette, I'd be mad too, Claire, but this is your fault. I'm just saying. You knew this man wasn't, And from what I understand, first of all, Claire is 39. She's a former Bachelorette. When she left the show after being on the show for 2 weeks, she fell in love with Dale. Their love was allegedly so deep after only 2 weeks of being on the show that they both decided to leave the show and take their newfound love in private. And that's when they brought in Rachel. Tayshia. That's when they brought in Tayshia. And the Bachelorette show went on. Well, it is Dale who reportedly ended things, the man. Because he didn't want to move to Sacramento, where she's from. He's from New York City. The first thing I did, because, you know, I watched this season and I wanted to hear how he spoke. Like, is he, you know?
Right.
And then I heard him speaking and stuff, and I said, no, he's not right for me, but he's right for some women. His DM is full. Now, at 39 years old, Claire wanted to start a family right away. And if you recall, they were asked, what are you going to do? Now that you're leaving the show, this is a really big deal. You all must be really, really in love. And even his nods to her were kind of like, yeah, I think maybe this will be good for my not-for-profit organizations and the Greenpeace type stuff that I do back in New York. Yeah, he's too earthy. He's very, very earthy, you know. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying, you know. What do you do with the plastic containers? You flushed the toilet too many times, you know. Nope. And when you're in a and I can understand 39, you know, Hollywood would have you believing that that's young and she can still have babies. But no, in real life, every pregnancy is a miracle. So she wanted to rush and have the baby. And he looked at her at that time on TV to us and said, you know, we're gonna take our time, you know, get to know each other more, and then, you know. So she's single, if you care. She's a pretty girl. She lives in Sacramento. Maybe the better thing for you to do would be find some Sac in Sac. Yeah. And then with Corona and everything, you know. Yeah, exactly. Ugh. All right, so there's this rapper, his name is Lil Yachty. You know him? Little, is that how you put it?
Lil Yachty.
Yachty, but that's not how he spells his name.
He spells it like a yacht, Y-A-C-H-T-Y.
Yeah. Wait, no, hold that picture for a moment. Lil Yachty. How old is he?
He's 23.
23 years old, Lil Yachty. Too old to be called little. Lil Yachty, everybody, had his little grill party. He traded in his grills for teeth. Well, you know, after you have the grills for a certain amount of time, everybody knows, you know, underneath is rotten to the core. So he admitted it. He put out $80,000 on new veneers. I think that that's a great investment. Take a look.
It's the White Teeth Show, man. Looking and feeling excellent. I'm gonna smile for the rest of the week. For the rest of the month, man. For the rest of the month, I'm smiling. I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't mean to hold y'all up. It's just I look better than I ever had looked it before, boy.
He really does. So, you know, and I'm glad that he got rid of the red hair and pushed his hair back and everything. And he really, the teeth and the hair color really do make a difference. Congratulations. I was a little bit distracted, though, by his clear refrigerator. And we like the same kind of orange juice, I noticed. He had stickers on his floor. Yeah, he is cute. There was a man here who just said he's cute. Yeah. A man's man knows how to say when another man is cute. He's cute. Well, good for you. I hope you enjoyed Hot Topics. Listen, there's not much going on out there, so we do the best we can, but at least we're live.